All right, back with another video. It's been a little while. I am in Florida, hence the background. I'm at my parents' house. We're visiting family. My wife and kids are visiting her side of the family. And I have some questions in my question box kind of queued up. So I'll answer some of those as I have some free time watching some football. The first question is about MOTS-C. When should you take the MOTS-C? Should you do it sub-Q, intramuscular? How long does it last in your bloodstream or in your body? So what I did and what I do with MOTS-C is I take it before my workout, probably like 30 minutes to an hour before my workout. Now, they say the half-life is very short, like the spike is very short. It's like within an hour to 2 hours, and then it starts to trickle down. Now, yes, that's true. If that's, again, if those things are always accurate, which I don't really know because it depends on everyone's own physiology and clearance rate, or how your body uses these things, how dysfunctional is your mitochondria. So if it's improving your mitochondria efficiency and energy, and it kind of makes the mitochondria smarter at what it chooses over period of time of using it consistently while working out and fueling your body correctly, it should be able to have a longer lasting effect, theoretically, right? So I notice benefits throughout the day. Now, I've also done 1 milligram daily. I've done 1 milligram 3 times a day. I've done 3 milligrams 3 times a day. I've done other various doses and different timings throughout the day. And the longer that I was taking MOTS-C, the more efficient I think my body got with it. And I just continue to have improvement and consistency with my endurance and cardio output, my strength output, muscle connection, my utilization of nutrition. So it really seems like it's like it's supercharging my mitochondria and my insulin, my insulin's ability to shuttle nutrition to where it needs to go, and my body to use that nutrition efficiently, right? To switch between fatty acids through glucose, like glycogen. So I mean so you can start off just by doing it closer to your workouts. And I always say, man, just like try different doses. That's not going to be an inconvenience, right? Like, you're not going to want to take these things with you to work or whatever and it be an inconvenience. I would just say around a workout would be great, but you can also take it throughout the day, maybe in midday if you have like blood sugar drops. So like if you're not wanting to take a GLP-1 and you know that you have poor blood glucose and insulin management, then you can try that, right? So you can try taking it in the midday and see if it helps to get rid of some of that energy slump because of a blood sugar drop, especially even if you're like in off season, if you're trying to increase lean muscle tissue, okay? I still think it's a benefit. The same reason why I think cardio is a benefit for off season as well. But the main purpose why I'm using it, again, the cardiovascular output, the endurance, the strength, the recovery, I mean, all these things have been noticeable. Okay, I'm not going to say it's the best thing on earth, and I've tried different brands, so they've all delivered what they claim. And I took it out for a while, and so I did MOTS-C by itself, and then I added MOTS-C with 5-amino-1-MQ, and then I took out the MOTS-C, and then I did SS31, and then I did SS31 5-amino-1-MQ, and then now I'm doing SS31 and MOTS-C together. So I've really noticed MOTS-C more than anything. I know 5-amino-1-MQ people claim that it helps to increase fatty acid oxidation. So you use the fatty acid for energy. Now, maybe it's just because I have like made my mitochondria very healthy, and the processes of nutrition partitioning and the my like the ability for my body to switch from different energy sources. And I don't know, I think the 5 amino 1Q, I didn't notice anything different, and I haven't changed my diet. Like, maybe there's a slight difference. I think I lost. I say, like, the only difference I saw with the 5 amino 1Q is the lower back fat, like where you would typically take like yohimbine or ribulsine or alpha yo. I would say like that's supposed to attack that area. You know, you're not spot reducing, or people would claim like AOD would work for the spot reducing. Now, I think the 5 amino 1NQ probably helped with that. I've gone between 1 milligram up to 10 milligrams per dose. And I've only done it one per day. I didn't split it up. Maybe I did one day split it up, but again, sub-Q intramuscular, I seem to have a reaction with intramuscular. It caused a lump and some swelling. And with that, and that's the 5 amino 1NQ. So maybe something in there that I don't like, my muscle doesn't like the pH balance. But I put some Arnica gel on it to try to reduce inflammation, get some blood flow there. But yeah, I would say there's probably a noticeable effect. I mean, maybe if I stay on it longer or I keep switching up, maybe it will have a benefit. Like right now, switching things up, I've just trained over at this gym here in Florida, and I did legs. So I did legs today, but I did legs 2 days ago. And just because like this gym has some different equipment that I usually don't use, and this equipment that I really hate. So it's like that weird hack squat where like your lower butt crack is like just in the crevice of it. It doesn't have the shoulder girdle. But I was getting gnarly pumps, right? I haven't changed anything with my nutrition, still keep the same pre, peri, and post nutrition. The only thing I've changed with traveling is that I have consumed a lot of honey because it's very easy. So that'll be the other question. I know somewhere in here. What is my nutrition like while I'm traveling? So hopefully the MOTS-C question was answered. Again, coming back on it, out of everything, I really enjoy the MOTS-C, and right now I'm only doing I'm doing 3 milligrams of MOTS-C and 1 milligram of SS31 before my workout. That's it, right? But I've got the peri-workout nutrition and the pre-workout nutrition, carbohydrates on point, so I am not feeling any fatigue or flatness or anything, and my recovery is great. So I'll keep at it. So I think MOTS-C is like my bread and butter right now. I really, really love it. Now going back to my nutrition while I am driving. So like driving and I'm at my parents' house staying here. Now, obviously I got like a refrigerator, I got food here that she bought, I got laundry and such, you know, so it makes life a little bit easier than living out of a hotel and not messing around with the Airbnb. But yeah, so like driving here from Texas, it's almost 16 hours, I think. It's about 16 hours. And so I use the David protein bars, Bear Bell bars, and honey, and prime hydration and energy drinks, right? I try to keep until we stopped and we got a hotel, and then I ate some solid food, some Greek food. Try to keep it as like less greasy as possible, just because whenever I'm on the road, I don't want to have to go to the bathroom. So I try to keep things very, very dense and very small amount of food at a time. I don't want a lot of fiber as well. So like fruit wasn't a thing. Oh, I think I had some raspberries or blackberries. Yeah, I had blackberries. But like, again, like by the time I got to the hotel, like I needed to go to the bathroom, and I'm not the one to kind of stop and use a gas station bathroom if I can avoid that. So I just want to get through the road trip, right? So I try to use those types of foods, things that are not super fibrous. I'm not going to bloat, but I drink tons of water. So we do have to stop and pee and such. And that, which is fine because I can get up and walk around. So the less complicated you can make your travel foods, the better. Now, I know that people like to do beef jerky, but like I'm not using my sodium that much, so like I'd rather drink my sodium rather than have like this the beef jerky plus something else plus drinking it. Like I don't want to have a bunch of water retention or edema, so I don't have any of that issue, which I like because then I like to get out of the car and not have any type of edema around my legs, which I do not. Same thing with flying, don't have a problem with that. When we got to the hotel, I did do cardio just to make sure we get my body moving. Before we drove out the next morning, I did cardio, and again had the same simple foods until we got to our destination. So I just try to keep it very, very simple. Now you can do like chicken breast in a bag. Again, I'm driving, so I'm not sitting there, so I don't have a meal. It's like if you're able to drive and eat with a fork and such, go ahead. I'm not going to do that. I'm taking my wife's car right now, so I can't really drive and eat at the same time because the way that steering wheel and seat is, it's more sporty. It's not like the 4Runner. So usually I can let my knees handle the steering wheel, but this one I cannot. So, try to keep it simple. If you can handle dairy, cheese sticks, totally fine. Those little laughing cow cheese circles, totally fine. Things that are low in fat, and again, when you do the cheeses, just do the low fat cheeses. You're using sources of carbohydrates, so I would say like that's the reason why like honey is a great concept for carbohydrates. And I mean, you can do like granola and stuff like that, I guess, but sometimes granola has more fat in it. So I just try to keep it as lowest fat as possible, higher protein to keep me satisfied, and less fiber, carbohydrates to make sure that I'm able to think clearly and react on the road. And yeah, that's it. I'm not the biggest fan of riding in a car, so got to drive back tomorrow and we'll do it all over again. So this time prepping some food for my parents' house because they're probably not going to eat it, so I'm going to cook it, take it in a bag. So I got some chicken, take that in a bag. I got some fruit, so I can have it at least at the hotel. We're gonna stay there a little bit longer than we did coming down here, and we'll hit up Publix, grab some cookies for the kids. This is something that HEBs don't have. Texas does not have these specific type of cookies, so grab some, freeze them and such, and go from there. So again, I think people overcomplicate the food for driving. I would say if you're a snacker while driving, you might need to consider something like, again, I think caffeine's a great way to preoccupy the mind, and podcasts are a great way. You can listen to in your headphones while everybody else is listening to something else. You could have conversation. Wow, I mean, with people in your car. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of like boiled eggs and the beef jerky and stuff on the road. Again, it's just the water retention, and people always complain about edema and such, and just because you're not moving. Like I'm walking around and such, I'm training twice a day. I'm for sure getting my 10 grams of sodium in a day. But if I'm not doing it and it's going to be all toward the night, I don't want to have edema on my legs and them to be heavy whenever I'm doing cardio at the hotel gym. So, and then the same thing in the morning. I want to wake up and I want to be able to flush everything out of the body and get it to where I can now my body can utilize that sodium without it retaining at my legs, because again, you've got 3 chambers in your legs to push blood up, and you don't want it to get pulled down because of gravity. So go from there. Next question. All right, the next question is about skin reactions to peptides. So I told you that I had one whenever I was injecting the 5-amino-1-MQ and intramuscularly. Now I really don't know why. Like, this is just a reactive response to the skin being pierced, an irritation response. Now, some people have it more than others, sensitivities to different metals and such. So like minerals, like like the GHKCU, like the copper, or they might have it to another, to maybe like the natural dye of a peptide. So I'm very uncertain as why that happens. You can, again, I use the Arnica to put it on post injection. You can do pre and post injection just to help with the blood flow to try to reduce the inflammation in that area. You can take antihistamine if you want, but it's going to be kind of inflamed for like 3 days maybe. What you don't want is you don't want it to show up red and then increase and create hives and then have some heat, and you don't want that. So you know, you can definitely start to tell whenever it might become like more of like a keloid, or what's the other thing? I can't remember, but yeah, I'm not a dermatologist. I can't remember the other thing. Not cellulose. I'm thinking cellulose and colitis. That's not it. Cellulitis. So something like that. Like you don't want things like that to happen. But especially if it starts to get hot, that's a problem. You got to keep an eye on it. Draw a circle around the area with a permanent marker. Make sure it's not expanding and staying expanded. And nor traveling, like a referring irritation. So it's just an irritation syndrome, and some people are more sensitive than others. I don't know why, man. I don't know. And it could be, you also have to look at like other medications that you're taking, the time of day that you're taking it. Do you take it like when your skin is super cold or super warm, like after a shower or after sweating? I mean, are you sweating and not cleaning the area, so there's bacteria that goes into it? Are you pushing the needle in too hard into the skin, so you're just kind of sensitive? There could be an array of possibilities. I would just say you could always reach out to a dermatologist and see what they say and go from there. I really don't know. Sorry. Okay, next question. How old were you whenever you started? How old was I whenever I started Anabolics? And what was your first cycle? Do you regret it? I do not regret it. I was younger, I guess. I didn't produce testosterone or estrogen because of medical problems as an adolescent. And my first thing was, back in the day we had pro hormones, but really we had steroids, right? Like we had Superdrol, right? That's not a pro hormone, that's a steroid. We had other things that you could buy over the counter or pill form that were very, very strong, right? So you have a lot of like Turinabol was very good. I like that one. Turinabol is just because, again, I wasn't into the whole quote unquote wet compounds, right? And I also had a fear of needles because I was injected so much as a child. I feared them to death. And I wanted the oral route to go. But I mean, you've had like methyl tests and such that are very, very powerful compounds back in the day. And I don't even know if people were like really honest about what they put. But like Halodrol I've done, T-ball, Superdrol, those were my big ones. M1T. So a bunch of orals would be my first initiation into the anabolic compound world. My first injectable was testosterone, 500 milligrams straight into the quad. And being a like health physiology, kinesiology student, you kind of figure out where things go and what muscles not to hit and where there's nerves and such. But man, I had I'm pretty sure it was like a 22 gauge, and it was 1.5 inch long needle right through the quad, and it's super hard to walk. And I think I did I don't remember how much the vial was, but I did 3 shots throughout the week. So go figure. So quad, butt cheek. So that's, and then a Remedex and Proviron. So that was like my first cycle. And then from there, I just think, we add different compounds if you wanted to compete or not, and or add mass or get stronger or whatever your goal is. I like the bioidentical hormones, so testosterone and growth hormone would be the route to go. And if you need to control estrogen, Arimidex, so like an anastrozole, would be fine, or aromacin, whichever you prefer. And I would avoid Clomid. You don't really need it. I don't think you need HCG or anything like that. Do I regret it? No, I do not regret it. I think that it did help me. I think it helped me with my physiology of overcoming my illness. I think it strengthened my immune system. I think it allowed my body to absorb nutrition that it needed to, which it otherwise didn't, that it was void of for many years. And it put me on a better mental pathway, because having no production of hormones definitely makes you crazy, and they want to put you on tricyclics or SSRIs, and those just cause anhedonia. Like, you just have zero feeling for anything that is good in life, and makes you just do some bad things, So I think it helped balance me out and have a better life. Now, it didn't make me infertile. I think that's the biggest joke that we still, like, some people still believe, and people still believe. There's so many things that people like still believe the back in the day, like that they used to claim. But again, you can do a fertility protocol after you're done, or midway through. Like, if you want to stop and then do a fertility protocol, then go back on, totally fine. But some people just have, like, I had my first child while I was still on anabolics. So, and yes, it's mine. And again, I'm pretty sure I said this multiple times. So, because people ask this question all the time, and I think it's pointless to freeze your sperm. I think that's really dumb. Again, everybody has the ability to get kids back if you are able to in the first place. If you were able to in the first place, you're able to get it back. I haven't seen anybody prove me wrong, because no one has any sperm testing before they even started. Like, yeah, see, I can't have kids and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Well, probably because you did something whenever you were a teenager and that screwed you up then. Like, don't blame it now, because you don't have any testing prior to all this, and there's no data, there's no proof, and that you come at me saying that, yes, I am, like, it happened to me. Okay, whatever. Show me the proof. I mean, it is really annoying whenever people, it seems like everybody has a medical background now. It's like everybody's a physiologist, huh? I guess now. I guess you all went through the same schooling I did. Everyone's a kinesiologist. Everyone has a medical background. Everyone understands orthopedics. Well, you're so smart. You use ChatGPT and you make all these stupid claims. You have this cultist following, whatever. I don't know everything, and I don't claim to know everything, but there are some things that I do know, and I will continue to believe in until I see otherwise. And I'll also try on myself as a guinea pig, because I was a guinea pig as a child. So why not just continue it, since, I don't think it's going to shorten my life, because all the crap that they put in me whenever I was a freaking toddler, it's probably already shortened my life. And so I had to rebuild my body back to have some sort of longevity, and to have some sort of immune system and muscle and hormones. Everything that I've done is to rebuild the body that big pharma and the medical field, supposedly treatment, they claim to help me, which was wrong. That I'm looking back through all of my records from the late 1980s, 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992, all that crap, right? So no regrets ever. And I don't regret anything that I'm doing now with peptides. Nothing's come back showing me that I've done something wrong. The other question that was on there was, when do you recommend someone taking their first cycle? I don't recommend having a set age. I recommend having experience and having a purpose for why you're taking it. Don't just take it to think that it's going to make you stronger or make you more aesthetic or get more girls. You're probably going to get more guys asking questions and bothering you in the gym. If it gives you confidence, if it helps performance on the field, if you're an athlete, after you've done everything naturally. So like again, training, when people say, "Oh, I started training at age 14," that doesn't count. I'm sorry. Like you don't understand training, you don't have mind muscle connection. When so if I say when like what age did you start training? It shouldn't be 14. Like you were in the gym, but you weren't training. You were just exercising. You were doing movements. You weren't training. Training is different than exercising. Okay? Exercise is movement. Training is connecting with the muscle and having a program to follow that has a rhyme and a reason to it. That's training and consistency. Exercising is not. That's not, man. You don't get anywhere with exercising. You just spin your wheels, and it's just something for you to do while you're twiddling your thumbs. Okay? So first years of training, I mean, at least get like a good minimum 3 years of training. So I mean, that probably starts around 19, I would say, and then go from there. Like once you maximize your body, once you've got your diet down packed, you've bulked a little bit, and you've done a severe cut, and then added some more lean muscle tissue. Again, I don't like bulking. Like I don't like to go over 15%. I don't care how old you are. But once you get the diet down, you understand the diet. You have gained muscle. You have lost body fat, and you've kept doing that, right? Because the more you lose body fat, the better your skin, the thinness of your skin can get, and the better your response to nutrition and training will be. And so you get that nice, like peeled skin. Like that. Then you can start thinking about anabolics. But remember, everything has a consequence, and you're not going to have the same results as me. You're not going to have, maybe you have terrible clearancing of the drugs, so then you have tons of acne. I don't have any acne from drugs. I don't have any of it. I don't have that problem. So I don't know what it's like. I don't have any hair thinning. I have a full head of hair. I've taken DHTs. I'm 37 and I don't have that problem. So I don't know how to help with baldness. The people keep asking me. I have a problem making my arms and shoulders bigger because of my long limbs. That's what I have a problem. So, so if someone were to ask me like, what age should I start injecting it into direct body parts? I would say never, because I don't advise people to do it. I don't do it myself. I'm too scared to jack up my arm and mess it all up with nerve problems. So, but going back to the main question, I don't really have a set age that someone should get on. I think the longer you can hold off, the better. And just really, you have to have training well taken care of. Understand the movements, have the mind muscle connection, be able to posing as a skill, and be able to have nutrition knowledge and actually apply it in your life and have consistency with that nutrition the same amount of time that you've been training. So training and diet go hand in hand, and also have a lifestyle that is conducive for bodybuilding or for longevity or for your sports. Don't have a lifestyle that is partying and such, or taking rec drugs, or just not working, because not working or going to school and having some sort of principles that you follow in your life to have discipline and sacrifice. Understand those things. Understand all those things before getting on, and then make sure you have enough money. So you want to have enough finances not only to get the anabolics, but you want to have enough money to get any medical things that you have to have done. So blood work, scans and such. If you have make sure you have a job that has accidental insurance in case you hurt yourself in the gym. Make sure you have money to be able to cover the food. Make sure you have money to be able to cover medical equipment that you might have to get, like a CPAP machine or something. And make sure you have money to be able to take care of any procedures that you also might have to have done aesthetically, right? So again, I don't have gyno or anything like that, so I don't understand all that, okay? I see it and I know what you should do about it, but I don't have any experience with it, which doesn't mean I can't help you. I'm just saying, again, I've taken a lot of tests without an aromatase inhibitor. Again, my hormones are totally different, but I don't know those problems. I don't know acne. I don't know, I've never felt it, right? I understand it to a certain degree, but again, I'm a good clearance of drugs, and my organs are very, very healthy. My mitochondria is amazing. And that's my goal, right? Is longevity and fixing my body that the medical field destroyed. And then just continuing to output at a high performance level and just, never feel tired. So that's all the questions I'm going to have. I'm going to see if this app works and upload these videos so I can onto the app and then have the app upload it onto YouTube. So timestamps probably won't be there. They'll be there later on when I get back to Texas, and maybe a thumbnail might be here. I don't know. I got to figure out how to do the thumbnail. That might come later. All right. You know what to do if you want to support me. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Hit it, tell me mean comments. I in the comment section. If you guys do the mean comments or whatever, I just hide you. So you think that so what I found out is, like, I guess you still see them, that you're putting the mean comment on there, but nobody else sees it. So I just hide you from the channel. So keep commenting. That may help the algorithm. I don't know. All right, later.